With the increasing pressure from Admiral Tarkin and the Galactic Senate, the Jedi Council have no choice but to expel Jedi padawan Ahsoka Tano and leave her fate to the Republic Military Tribunal. Ahsoka and her master Anakin Skywalker know that the evidence is against her defense, and it was out of the hands of the Jedi Council, so Anakin had to find the real perpetrator. Whilst Ahsoka stood on trial with the help of Senator Amidala, Anakin entered into the depths of Coruscant's underworld, finding Asajj Ventress. The former Separatist ally is able to guide Anakin to the Jedi Barriss Offee, and the Jedi Knight had his suspicions. As he entered the Padawan quarters, he ignites his lightsaber, and Barriss defends with the lightsabers of Ventress. Dueling through the temple, Anakin eventually overpowers Barriss and arrests her just before Palpatine could sentence Ahsoka. Despite Barriss's confession to the bombing of the Jedi Temple, Ahsoka's faith in the Order had been shaken, and she left the place she called home. But what if Ahsoka had stayed in the Jedi Order? How would this affect Anakin's turn to the dark side? Would this scupper Palpatine's plans? As you'll find out, Ahsoka's decision will shape the face of the Clone War. As Ahsoka stood in the council chamber, she was surrounded by Anakin and the council members, hearing their apologies. The Jedi Padawan was internally disgusted with Master Windu, as he regarded it as a personal trial for herself, rather than admitting to the council's mistakes, but he did at least hint at her becoming a Jedi Knight. Turning to face her own master, he holds her silk beads in anticipation, and Ahsoka pauses before taking them in her hand. Anakin is relieved, but feels guilty that Ahsoka is only staying for him, and Yoda begins the ceremony to knight Ahsoka. Afterwards, Yoda asks Ahsoka to talk to him in his quarters, and he knew that Ahsoka did not want to stay for the sake of being a Jedi, rather for her master. The new Jedi Knight is given a special mission to try and find a way to capture Dooku. Ahsoka is hesitant, as Anakin and Obi-Wan had failed multiple times to apprehend the Sith, but she had the guidance of the Force. Bowing to Yoda, who returned her old lightsabers, her first instinct was to visit Anakin, and her master was busy mending his starfighter. Ahsoka tells him of her mission to capture Dooku, and Anakin is equally skeptical, until he had the idea of visiting Senator Amidala for her assistance. Ahsoka admits to Anakin that she had known about his marriage with Senator Amidala, and the Jedi feels a great weight off of his shoulders, until she implores him to tell Obi-Wan. Anakin is mortified at the thought, as he expected Obi-Wan to tell the Jedi Council, but Ahsoka is insistent, before leaving the temple. For the first time as knights, the two go to Padme's apartment, and Ahsoka asks her friend what she can do. The Senator is about to make a trip to the planet of Scipio, much to the annoyance of Anakin, as this would mean meeting the devilish Rush Clovis, but a chance to lure Dooku. Awaiting orders from Padme and Anakin, Ahsoka had one more task before joining them. Heading for Coruscant's underworld, Ahsoka takes the speeder she had left behind, and flew down to level 1312, looking for the hideout of Asajj Ventress. To her disappointment, the Night Sister is nowhere to be found, and she realised she had forgotten about her new deal with the bounty hunter. Returning to the temple, she tells the council about pardoning the crimes of Ventress, but the decision is up to the Galactic Senate. Next, moving to the Jedi archives, Ahsoka finds Jedi investigator Terra Sunube, asking for the whereabouts of Ventress. The former council member tells Ahsoka that Ventress had left in a gunship a short while ago, and was reportedly trying to establish contact with bounty hunters and criminal syndicates. Entering her starfighter, she regrettably entered the coordinates for the planet of Florum. Approaching the desert planet, she is greeted by the Weequay pirate Hondo Anaka and his gang. This time, their intent is to not capture her, but to do something about the ship, which was hovering in the atmosphere above their planet. Before it was dealt with by another gang, Ahsoka entered into a borrowed ship and saw a unique pursuit craft and dragged it down to the planet's surface. Whilst the pirates took apart the ship's parts, Ahsoka extracted the injured Ventress. Bidding the pirates a hasty farewell, she flew the injured Ventress to a nearby medical frigate, and with the help of a medical droid, her eyes soon opened. The Dathomirian is surprised to see Ahsoka, having expected their previous meeting on Coruscant to be their last, but Ahsoka needed her to lure unbattled Dooku. Ventress cautions Ahsoka to not underestimate her former master, but decides she wants revenge. Back on Coruscant, Darth Sidious had felt a disturbance in the Force. The move by Ahsoka Tano to remain in the Order had been unexpected, and now he sensed his apprentice was going to face danger. Activating his holoprojector, his apprentice bowed in front of him, and Sidious ordered him to bring his Magna Guards to deal with any unwelcome visitors. There was no escape from Darth Sidious. That is it for part 1 of What If Ahsoka Stayed in the Order. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on your notification bell, subscribe to this channel and my other channel What If Films for more what ifs. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next and how I can improve my videos. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.